We all rely on energy to light our lives and power our worlds. But how that energy is generated and delivered is changing fast. One way that it's happening is through microgrids. The traditional centralized utility grid is a big interconnected network that takes energy from large, faraway energy generation plants and transmits it over long distances to consumers. As technologies and policies continue to evolve, communities and businesses can choose to supply their own energy locally by building their own microgrid. A microgrid is a group of interconnected energy users and distributed energy resources. These are energy systems that can include solar panels, batteries, wind turbines, and combined heat and power plants. This means that energy is generated closer to where it's needed. The microgrid, which can be connected to the larger central grid, can function as a supplement or operate independently, providing a secure backup when there's an outage. And these distributed energy resources are all great ways to generate clean, renewable energy. Homes, businesses, and buildings can become more energy independent, tapping into a flexible and reliable energy supply that reduces greenhouse gas emissions and lowers carbon footprints. And because microgrids are so efficient, they also save on energy costs. As energy becomes ever more critical in our daily lives, microgrids will enable us to shift from central power generation to local, flexible, reliable forms of sustainable power and thermal energy. So, when disaster strikes, we'll still have all the energy we need to power through life. Find out how we can do this for you. Veolia, resourcing the world.
Let's face it, no serious person can dismiss climate change. We see the signs, we know the consequences, and there is one thing we know for sure: time is running out. We must reimagine the way we create, distribute, and use energy. We are working on solutions. Some are incremental, but we need to think big, really big. At its peak in 1970, the wired phone system serviced only 23% of the world. Today, over 96%, or over 7 billion people, have access to wireless mobile phones. Now, let's apply this revolution to our power grid. What we have now is a centralized power grid delivered by an antiquated network of wires, vulnerable to natural disasters, decaying infrastructure, terrorist cyber attack. So, last century. The energy grid of the future will be decentralized, based on harvested green energy with storage, eliminating our dependence on fossil fuels forever. And we will make it happen with microgrids. Microgrids harness green-sourced energy like solar and wind to provide 100% renewable energy to smaller community-based systems with the help of smart buildings, public facilities, campuses, communities, and consumers. A sustainable balance can be achieved between sources and energy-consuming devices. And we can do it here in California in 10 years or less if we choose. And when we microgrid California, the nation and the world will follow. Now, you're probably asking, how much will this cost? It won't cost the average citizen, the ratepayer, anything more than you are already spending for your energy. Committing to clean energy microgrids would explode growth in private and public infrastructure. As our system becomes more efficient and renewable infrastructure expands, unused energy can be stored in standard batteries or a growing array of clean storage technologies. It can also be converted into hydrogen reserves that provide extended security against outages, natural disasters, seasonal variation, or cyber attack. We can even sell the excess hydrogen as fuel to power our cars, buses, trains, and our entire transportation system. All this with no additional cost to the ratepayer. This makes our economy truly sustainable and 100% green. So, how do we make this happen? The answer is you. We need to use our votes to elect leaders who support a green economy. Educate those around you about microgrids fueled by emerging hydrogen economy. Help promote the use of solar and other renewable resources for energy independence. Let's pull together and make it our mission to say no to compromised politicians, no to big oil and fossil fuel companies, and yes to a green future. If not us, who? If not now, when? The future has arrived, and we must embrace it for human civilization to survive climate change. Visit us at the World Business Academy, where we believe the business community must provide social leadership as a steward for a healthy planet and a healthy human civilization and a vibrant, dynamically growing economy.
Microgrids are growing in popularity everywhere. In fact, they're already here in the Midwest. We have one of the most advanced microgrids in North America in Ameren. At their Testing and Application Center in Champaign, Illinois, they built an advanced microgrid.
Microgrids are more sustainable, so if we have a problem on our higher voltage transmission lines, we would still have the ability to provide service to our customers.
If we can operate them and control them, it would elevate the level of reliability to the overall system.
What is a microgrid? We actually developed what you see here, which is a demonstration, or what we call an experience table, so that people can really get an idea of what the look and feel of a microgrid is and how it operates and how it really provides value to the people within the microgrid and to the community that it supports. We kind of view it as a fence line. So if you look at the table, you can see an outline around the edge of that. So think about that outline as the boundary of the microgrid. And then, if we're keeping the fence analogy going, there's a gate. The gate is how we let electricity in. If you disconnect the gate or you close the gate, everything goes dark. The utility substation went dark, followed by all of our non-critical loads. The only one that's still on are the critical loads. These are the ones that have been defined that are life-saving, that are essential to the continued operation. And these loads, as part of the microgrid, get a building level backup system. So the first thing that happens is the microgrid controller verifies the situation. And then once it's assessed the situation, it goes and it confirms, in fact, we had a loss of source. And that's what the blue circles represent again, is confirmation of the loss of source. So now we're ready to actually start reforming. And what we're going to do there, the first thing is it's going to go after those generation sources. And you see the blue lines of communication and all the generating sources that it's going to call on starting up, right? So now they're in preparation mode. And you might think this takes a while, but all of this happens in 3 seconds. The next step is to actually bring them online. Now that they're online, you can tell by the transition from blue to white, the next step, let's bring power back to the people. And here it comes. We are now going to close the switches back onto the distribution system. And you can see in yellow, our distribution system lights up. Now we're one step away from being able to bring power back to the entire microgrid, and we're only at 14 seconds. And at this point, the microgrid controller tells the switches to energize all the loads inside the facility. So inside the microgrid, we now have full power, and all of that happened within 15 seconds. In 15 seconds, we've gone from a complete outage back to a fully powered microgrid where we have a kilowatt in every corner of the microgrid. You probably didn't even have time to find your flashlight. You certainly didn't have time to call the utility. And more importantly, no crew could be dispatched to be able to provide this level of restoration in 15 seconds.
Fossil fuels are not an endless resource. We need to start working today to manage those energy challenges of the future. Renewable energy is real, on-site production of energy is real, it's resilient, it's sustainable, and it's cost-effective. My name is Charlie Fredrickson. I'm Vice President of Investments with Faith Technologies. We knew we wanted to build a microgrid to demonstrate how we can create our own on-site renewable energy. We chose the Fox Cities Environmental Learning Campus at Humboldt's Nature Preserve. Their focus is educating the community about nature. Faith and Schneider work so well together. We could tell that they saw the vision of what we wanted to do, and they went all in with creating solutions. Our microgrid is very unique. We have 5 different distributed energy resources: a solar PV field, natural gas generator, microturbine, battery, hydrogen fuel cell, and the electrolyzer. With the Schneider Electric Energy Control Center and EcoStruxure Microgrid Advisor, we're able to take all 5 resources and manage the power in one unit. So it's collecting data as it relates to weather patterns, the cost of energy out on the grid, and how it's going to use that data to optimize the operation of the microgrid. Faith and Schneider received the very first Distributed Energy Resource Project of the Year award. The construction of this microgrid is really a tribute to the strong partnership between Faith and Schneider. On-site power generation is the future.